All right, so we need to do these quests. Hi, the one. Nice to have you with me. So let's see. I am currently just trying to catch up a little bit on doing these quests from in the airship, right? Just because I haven't done them yet today. It's been a busy day for me. So we are going to go ahead and do this. Today I have a couple of things planned. I'm planning on trying to make some good headway in this event. I have some emeralds saved up from last event, right? The Halloween event that I plan on using. So I think that should be fun and exciting. Hey Gary, nice to have you with me. Always a pleasure. Love having you here. And I'm going to go ahead and use some keys. We're still a good distance from getting to level 10. I mean, 320-ish, right? A little less, 319, but all right. So that's what we got going on there. Should be exciting to use some of these emeralds I have saved up for this event. I mean, yeah, I did originally plan on using them all during the Halloween event, but I didn't need to, so I held on to some of them for this event. So, good deal. Okay, let's see. So I need to enchant a glyph here. I don't need to do a level here, but I will. On mobile, you do need to do a level, increase a level for the glyph to count, whereas on Facebook, you don't. So, a little easier on Facebook. Hey, Spammy, nice to have you here. Always a pleasure. Thanks for being here. And yeah, so let's take a look at some of these quests. So 3 heroic missions. I almost always forget to do that because I'm not used to doing it. So let's go ahead, and I think Phobos is a good one to target here. I need 3 more of his soul stones to absolute him. So let's go for it. Okay, so we got 1 there. No, not the Rarity Fair. Oh, someone asked me last time, what's the deal with Rarity Fair? Can confirm officially that you don't need any VIP to have Rarity Fair, but you do need to spend emeralds. So it's tough. I don't know. If you're VIP 0, I think it's hard to use Rarity Fair. But Rarity Fair, you don't need to have any VIP for it to be active. I talked to Anyway, I talked to someone within Hero Wars, and there's no VIP thing on that. Just as a reminder, because I know last time someone asked me about that. So, all right, let's take a look here. What was I doing? Right. Okay, I was finishing Phobos. So we're gonna finish Phobos today. Don't want to have to deal with getting any more of his soul stones. So we are gonna try to do that, and we did it. So now we have 300 of 300. That should get him to absolute, and we're gonna go ahead and evolve my Phobos to absolute. Very nice. Okay, so now the heroes that I still have to absolute are Heidi, Mojo, Fox, Ginger, Peppy, Astrid and Lucas, Artemis, and I think there's one more. Thea. So all of them are 5-star, but I still need to work on those ones. And are any of them closer, like under 100? Okay, so that's still a long ways to go. Long ways to go. So Fox might be the next target for me. Peppy, still far. Ginger, Astrid and Lucas, Artemis. Yeah, so all these guys are still pretty good distance from becoming absolute. But it looks like the closest one right now is Fox. So that'll be my next focus. I still have 100 hero soul stones, but I don't know if I'm going to use them just yet. So that's kind of where I'm at. Hi, Martin. Nice to have you with me. Always a good time here. It's nice to get away from everything in the world right now. Okay. So we are going to take a look. So I'm going to claim my 30 Morgan soul stones, right? Because I already have Morgan, absolute. But because it's a day where you would get her holistically, right? So you get her completed. You get soul stones instead. And here we got 30 of these Morgan soul stones, which is nice. right? Pretty cool stuff. We got Scorching Days, and I am going to be focusing on this event and finishing it if I can. So we need 500 soul stones. I will end up using this chest then in that case. We're going to go ahead and use this, and I think it just makes sense. I'm going to use it on Peppy. Peppy. There's no need to, try to complete something. If I already have, 200 of soul stones, I don't need to worry about claiming anything, right? So I wasn't going to finish Fox right now because I can finish Fox organically. So there's that. Got 100 soul stones right there. And the next thing I wanted to do was I wanted to focus on the Outland chest because that can be a bit of a pain. 8,000 energy, okay. So we only need 65 Outland chests. And let me just see what I need, what heroes I need skin stones for. I was focusing on my twins, and I can always try to work on them more. I have all the skins I need. And Kark, how far is Kark? So I want to completely finish Kark. So I guess I should go for the agility skin stones. So I'm going to go for agility skin stones. So we're going to go to Outland. I'm going to claim these free daily rewards. And I'm going to spend some emeralds and make sure that I can complete this particular task today. And guys, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I mean, of course, I know you guys know that, but feel free to leave any questions you have at all times. Always happy to answer any questions that you have, or if you want to see a particular matchup. The other day I saw that one crazy matchup. I don't know if you guys saw that video, but that was wild where we had a Yasmin versus Yasmin towards the end. And literally, they just decided that they were not going to fight, and they just went off screen, did their own thing. That was pretty interesting. I don't know if any of you guys saw that. So, Martin, this team promises to be very strong if Kira is considered undead. Corvus, Kira, Morgan, Phobos, and Martha. What do I think? I agree with you. I think one major flaw with that particular team, though, is that Kira is your main damage dealer, and if someone has the right heroes to counter Kira, it could make things more difficult, especially on the Facebook version, just because right now, even though Corvus is such a good attacker, again, he just doesn't have the defensive stamina that you would want out of a tank. I mean, that's just my honest opinion on that. Okay, let's see where we end up here. But I do like that team. I think it's very offensive. I just am worried that with Corvus as your tank, your heroes behind him won't last super long. I mean, yes, I think Morgan's a very good healer, and I think Phobos is improved, and I also like Kira, but I am also worried that that makes Kira very susceptible to Leanne. Leanne just freezes up and is a straight up counter to Kira, so that's one concern that I have, but I do like that team overall. Yes. Hey, Oscar. Why would you want to finish this event if you already have all absolute star titans? Okay. That is a great question, and I'll tell you why. So the reason I want to complete this event is a couple of things. So one, I do have the emeralds, and I'm really bad at saving all my emeralds, if I'm being honest. I was glad that I even saved them long enough for this event because I actually thought I was going to use them all during Halloween. But going back to what your question, right? So the thing that I need, right, is I need to I want to finish all my titans, right? So I'm going to go up to my titans real quick, and you can see that I'm almost done, but I really, really want to finish, leveling up these 4 titans here. So Ignis, Nova, Vulcan, and Mary. And to do that, I need a bunch of soul stones that I can trade into the merchant here. And from there, I can trade them in for Titan potions. And once I get my Titan potions, I can focus on finishing up and leveling up my Titans here. And after that, then all I need to worry about really is artifacts at that point. And from there, after artifacts, right, all I need to really worry about is the altar of elements and getting more of these elemental spirit fragments, I need 4 more water and 4 more fire. So a long ways away, but it just, to me, I would really appreciate completing my Titans, and I think, there's no point in me waiting to level them up. And I'm getting to a point in Dungeon where there are days that certain Titan teams seem to give me a little bit more trouble, slash they damage me more. So for me, I just want to finish my Titans. That's why I'd like to, um, maybe not finish this event, but get further in the event. It also allows me to get more resources by trying to complete the event. Obviously, I need to be smart about that, but that's kind of my approach to this, Oscar. I hope that makes sense. And hey, Spammy, so am I going to switch to a Twins team? I do plan on eventually having a Twins team. Will it be my main team? I think yes and no. So I think it's going to be good for me to switch it up. I don't want my Guild War opponents knowing exactly what my team's going to be that week. So I think for me, it makes sense to have versatility and like be able to switch up. Oh, today I want to use a cart team, or today I want to use a Twins team, right? And that also gives me more flexibility when we're talking about Grand Arena, right? Where you can have two different teams that are both very offensive in nature, and you can strategize basically to allow yourself to win more matchups. So I think that's gonna be my approach there. And yeah, so I want to have a Twins team available. Will it be my main team or just completely switching over? I'm not 100% sure yet, but it is a possibility. It is a very, very good possibility because they're just so strong. Um, but okay, so here we got these gifts that I just claimed from the Facebook page, and I still have this 500 energy, so I'm going to go ahead and claim that. And I was working on Lars, and yeah, so the thing is, I want to finish my Twins, and then I also need to work on Jew, because Jew, right, I'm stuck on Seymour, and the stronger your Jew is, the better odds you have of taking down Seymour. So for that reason, I'm going to be focusing on Jew as well. Just a bunch of heroes that I really like that I will be focusing on, and eventually, I need to take down Seymour, and then from that point, I just want to be able to, focus on and what I deem the best heroes. Not everyone's going to agree with me on that because obviously tier lists change, with updates, but um, you know, I'm pretty thorough in my research, so I hope that my results will be as good as they have been so far to me. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there, Spammy. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I do love the Twins. I love the Twins. I also love Kark. Kark's my guy right now, so can't complain about Kark. Love Kark. It's just the Twins, they're a really tough duo. Okay, so where are we at with this? Let's see. Control the elements, no. Combat support, right. So we're at 30. We need to get to 35. Or 35 more, because 65 is to complete this. And so we're going to go ahead and open some more chests. So 10. So that's 1, 2, then 1 more. Hopefully that gets me close. So that's 30, right? Let's see where we're at. So we finished the opening chest in Outland. Awesome. And we spent some emeralds. Okay, so that will help me there. Do I want to do... Okay, so this is where things get tricky. I don't know if it's worth me expending a lot of emeralds in the chest to basically do these soulstone ones. If I had just chests sitting around, I would use those. But I don't think I will. So I wanted to just do that, and I think I want to use some of the energy. So let's go ahead and do the 50 energy, because that's worth it for sure. And I'm going to go ahead and try to work on Lars a little bit more. Still not going to be able to finish this item, of course, because, that's a lot of Lamort cards. That's 160 Lamort cards, because I already have 80, right? So I have the first one done, but if you look at this item here, right, you have 5 of these Hand of Glories, and you've got the, what is this called? The Oracle's Sensor recipe, I'm assuming. And then you have, yeah, the Lamort card. So this one's a pretty interesting item build. So my goal is to get Lars to red. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to go all the way to red +2 with him right away, and then go to Krista, or what. I still haven't made a firm decision on that yet. But that's kind of the direction I'm heading with these two. And if you can see in the airship, I think I'm getting pretty close to finishing. Okay, so Lars, yeah, I just need 8 more levels for each of these guys. And I have Krista pretty far back still, but Krista's on blue stuff. And we're going to go ahead and finish or get this particular weapon to 5-star right now. And with that, right, so now I just have to absolute these guys for both Krista, and I think Lars has 1. Yeah, so Lars' main book is done, except for the levels, right? But it's absolute, so that's kind of what I'm doing there. How much improved is Heidi? Is she still a Class C hero? Okay, so I haven't done as much testing as I would have liked with Heidi just yet. She has improved a decent amount in terms of being able to finally deal some damage. But I think for her to be most useful, you want to use a team that has Aurora, just so that Heidi gets even more dodge and is even more nuisancey, if that makes sense. Basically, Heidi relies on dodge a lot, and if you have Aurora who gives dodge to everyone on your team, it could make her that much more annoying, and I think she could be useful or viable in that option. Do I think that she's for everyone? No. But I think she's, I still think she might be a Class C hero because generally speaking, she's very limited in who she can be used with. But I think she's more usable now because of the upgrade that she has in skins and stuff like that. So I think, obviously I need to do some more testing, but just thinking out loud here, I think Heidi is better than she was. And basically, she's usable, but in specific team subsets. So you couldn't just like throw any 4 heroes around Heidi and expect that team to do well. Like, that's one thing that I really like about the twins and why I rate them so high is if you use the twins, Krista and Lars, you can use almost any 3 heroes, and that team would still be good. Like you could almost use 3 tanks, and it'd still be a decent team, which is crazy because if you have 3 tanks on a team, you wouldn't expect that team to be very good. Right, so that's one reason that I think I almost think the twins are like kind of dummy proof because they're so good on their own that you can use any 3 heroes with them and your team's still gonna be good. Whereas Heidi, right, you have to specialize your team a little bit more around Heidi, so it can be a little bit more nuanced or difficult to use. So that's also why she gets a lower rating on a tier list in my particular tier list formations. And I know a lot of people, like them and don't like them, but that's kind of one way that I put them out there. They're usually for newer players anyway. So that's just how I do the process. Okay, let's go back to this. I think you make a good point. I think we're just going to go ahead and see how many of these guys. Do I really want to push the energy? I'm not sure I want to do that. You know what? We're going to just spend the last 9,000 on the Altar of Elements. I'm going to need to use it up there anyway. And I need the artifacts, if I'm being honest. So let's see what happens. I have some emeralds probably from the Hall of Fame. Okay, cool. But we're going to go ahead and do this real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and do 2 openings, and then I'm going to call it good on my emeralds. I'll be down to not a lot, so it's fine. But we need to put in our emeralds time-wise here, right? So we can increase our Titans' strengths. And let's see what we're working with now. So, okay, so I need to finish this guy, of course. And we're still pretty far, but I'm aiming to finish these fists pretty soon, or at least getting them to 5-star, right? Because I think they're the only 4-star that's left on my main Titan roster. And right now I'm working on finishing up, getting this Earth Crown on my Avalon to level 120, and then from there, it's down to Silva, and I'll be focusing probably on the attack as opposed to the defense for, the first half, and then once I get this to level 120, I'll get this to level 120. Just an order of operations for me there. Looking at Water Titans, you're not going to finish the event, save stuff for later. Hey, that's completely fair, and I think the other thing, too, is with Halloween, we just had it. It was a pretty intense week in my opinion, and very much busy, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So I completely respect that. I think that's fair. I'm just gonna level up the earth or fire crown here a little bit, but um, yeah. So I think I'm done with the event so far, unless I can just do some things organically, right? Whether I just I have the energy and I can just do it that way. But yeah, I think that's a good point. So that's kind of what I'm gonna go ahead and open some of these now, so then I can see if I can finish some of my Titans in terms of level. I'm hoping I can at least do Ignis with what I get out of these particular what do you call it? Sparks, right? I do really like the sparks though, because they have and I'll show you guys in a sec. So the other reason I really like opening these, and a lot of people don't agree with me there either, is I don't like. So I have these bronze Guild War trophies, right? And I always trade mine in for Titan skin stones, and I find it so slow and, in my opinion, an annoying process to have to trade them in every time. Titan skin stones come in this event, so that's one reason, again, that I really like the event. And the fact that you can get, I think it's like almost like 100 at a time by just getting them out of this event is really, really beneficial to me too, because my Titans are still a long ways away from having all the Titan skin stones. And I think that answers, again, Martin's question here too, right? When we have our Titans and you have the skins on the Titans, right? So this is a lot of attack that's being added bonus wise, but I need 7,800 almost just to level up my Eden one level with the skin. So, and my other Titans aren't as far along, right? So like 30 out of 60, 30 out of 60, this is my main team. So, 25. So I've got some stuff that I need to do and work on to be able to get my Earth team absolute or finished, right? So those are a couple things that I really like about the event as well. So I have 340. I'm going to probably get close to opening those very, very soon. Just want to see if there's anything else that I can do off the bat. So opening my daily chest. And there's Mojo. Cool. We're going to go ahead and open these 15 platinum boxes. And we got one of those, which is cool. We got some items. We got some energy. Always love to see the energy pulls. So we got one of the avatars from the platinum box. So I didn't have this one. I don't remember what's it called. Well, I'm not sure what it's called. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So check avatar. And this is a unique one, right? So we're going to go ahead and scroll down, and it doesn't have a name, I guess, but it looks, I think it's Astrid, right? So it's Lucas and Astrid, but Astrid when she's in her smaller pet form, right? Okay, so this also gives me a good opportunity. Someone asked me the other day, how can I get different avatars? And so, or no, not avatars, frames. So someone asked me specifically about Boxy Frame. So Boxy Frame, you can get the Boxy Frame by having 50,000 views on your Hero Wars videos on YouTube. So that's how you can do that. And then it tells you here too with Legends Frame. So someone asked me about Legends Frame, and all you need to do is gain a million. Well, I say all you need to do, but you need to gain 1,000,000 views on your Hero Wars videos. That's actually a lot. So that's pretty tough to do. I think, obviously, if you're interested in doing it, start with the Boxy Frame and go from there. But yeah, someone asked me about that, so that's kind of how you can go about it. And it does tell you. So all you need to do is you need to click on your particular frame / avatar and click change frame. And from there, there's a description on what you need to do to get said frame. And hey, Ciro, yeah, hey, you know what? That's fair. But you know what? Sometimes it's nice to, just hang out and, do stuff. I mean, obviously, yeah, that's true that, I did spend some stuff on emeralds. That's fair. I didn't spend any just now or anything like that. But you know what? That's a completely fair point. And I'm not going to say that, I haven't spent some money on the game. I've never said that, I don't think. I mean, on mobile, I have spent $0. But on Facebook, I can't say that I have done that. But hey, sometimes it's also nice to see other people, how they spend their emeralds, just so that when you have your emeralds, you know what you can spend stuff on and whether it's worth it or not. So for me, I that's why I enjoy watching other YouTubers who, whether it's a different game or not, when they're spending emeralds and stuff that I wouldn't be able to do, you get to live kind of vicariously through them. So, obviously it's not for everyone, and maybe it's not for you, Ciro, but, that's my take on it. Obviously, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and open a bunch of these particular demonic sparks. And, I'm hoping I get a bunch of these skin stones, which is what I really, really want. I mean, I'll take the Titan potions as well, and the gold is cool, but sure, the demonic sparks going to demonic flames is cool as well, but I really, really want the skin stones. That's really, really what I want, and I don't want to wait all day, so I'm just going to go ahead and collect all of them. So we have 208 now, and I'm going to go ahead and open these guys up as well, and obviously, it's really cool. You get the most basic, I call them the basic ones, right? For the fire titans, which are not Araji. Araji just comes in the last form. But again, I'm getting up 300 skin stone chests, or skin stones, right, for my titans, which is really, really what I want, as well as more of these items. I'm kind of bummed that they didn't have any avatars. I really expected them to have 3 avatars for this event, but it is what it is. We have 63 demonic blaze here, so I'm going to open these as well. And looks like we just got a bunch of Araji Titan soul stones. I wish I could trade these out or like gift them to someone, because I don't use them, and I feel like they're more valuable to other players. So I would like a function where you could kind of like just give them away, but it is what it is. I can't really do anything about that, so I'm going to end up trading them in. Right, so I have 950. I mean, I could use that on a different account, not this one, but it is what it is. So I'm going to trade these in, and we're going to get some Titan potions. So hopefully this will help us level up a little bit. And here I'm going to go to Ignis, and I'm going to level him up a little bit here. And it looks like we can get him to level 120. But that is pretty much the extent of what we can do. So like with level 103, I can't move that at all. And these level 90s, I'm going to just hold off. But I do have enough to level up my Angus a little bit, because I need the elemental armor to be stronger. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And okay, so that's really what I can do for this event so far. But, that helps my team a little bit. Let's see the difference here, and let's see. So I know I was at like 750 something, so that helps out my Titan team a little bit. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the results there. And trying to figure out what else I need to do. So I got one of the altar orbs. I'm just going to open one of them because I have it. And I like to hold on to one just in case, for whatever reason on the weekends I forget to claim my 5. I still have one available, and I can just quickly open it. So it's not a huge deal if I end up missing. Obviously, you can do what you like there, but that's why I keep one. So let's go ahead and Anvari's Fist is what I'm working on. I'll take the 25. And I like doing the certificate exchange, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get all artifact coins. This just helps me get closer to maxing my artifacts on my heroes. Okay, so Gary's telling me that the avatars are the same as earlier in the event. All right, that's fair enough. I get it. I wish they did. I know a lot of people were telling me, hey, I wish we had the normal one, right, where it's, I think it's Gift of the Elements or Children of the Prophecies, where you can basically get these boxes, right, you can basically choose which, right, so like when you open the Super Titans, you can pick which Super Titan you want. So I wish they had that too. I don't know why they elected to go with another Fire Titan event. My baby account on 51 is not complaining because Araji and the Fire Titans is my main team. But, you know, it is interesting that they didn't go with Children of the Prophecies, which I kind of thought they would, but they didn't. So it is what it is. But, you know, thanks for letting me know about that, um, Gary. About, you know, the avatars are the same, so that's cool. I guess I have them, so I'm happy about that. And here we have Martin. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, Martin. I think that's a great point. I mean, I think this game is definitely for grinders, and it's not necessarily meant for the big spenders. And I don't think I'm a big spender in comparison to some players. I mean, I do spend occasionally, but I'm not a big spender in the fact that, you know, I don't have all absolute titans or absolute titans already. I don't have all absolute, you know, everything, which is fine. But here's the thing too: is like the game needs spenders to be able to stay afloat, right? So I think it's good to have both VIP players and non-VIP players because the non-VIP players stick around, right? And they're gonna be around for the long haul. That's what this game's all about. It's all about, you know, having players stay around, and that's what keeps the game going. But it also needs those players who spend the money so that the game can still be profitable for the game makers. So, you know, it's a combination. It's a give and take. And I agree with you, Martin, that it is important, you know, and players have VIP 0. I know, again, on mobile, I'm VIP 0. Here, I'm not, but, you know, once you spend on one account, it basically transfers all the way through. So my baby account, I think I've once or twice for Valkyrie's favor, but, you know, basically other than that, I don't really spend on there, but I'm still VIP 10 because I'm VIP 10 on this account. Okay. Yeah, absolutely, Martin. You can absolutely have good teams whether you have VIP or not. So, you know, I think that's a great point. All right, so got a little off track there. Let's see. What was I trying to do? So let's take a look at Lars and see where we're at. So 49, obviously I was working on finishing this particular part of his artifact. So I'm going to go ahead and just use the 18 that I got from the Tournament of Elements, right? And so now we're almost halfway, not quite, but we're working on our way to finishing Lars, and Krista will be next. Okay, so that's all good there. Daily quest-wise, let's see. Okay, so adventures. Okay, so let's check out what adventures are available, if any, and if no one's in one, then I will start one. Oh, I'm in one. Of course I am. Okay. So it looks like no one's taken the path to knock everything down, so I will do that. So I will take the middle path here, which the middle path basically clears all the lasers for the other two players to take both side routes. And I know Wesley on our squad is a decent player, but obviously, you know, I think they would struggle with the middle route. So I'm going to go ahead and take that one. I also know that it looks like Amar has already started on the outside route over here. So I'm going to just go ahead and take the middle route. There's not really room for mistakes in the middle route, so there's nothing wrong with going ahead and doing that. So we're going to do that right now. So I auto these at this point. Let's see, so magic damage is what you need for Orion. So I can just take the decreased pure damage, leaving a good buff for my buddy here when they're fighting the boss. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to swap in Jorgen here because this team doesn't have a Jorgen. And basically that's all I do for my card team for the most part. I don't put in Faceless because Absolute Kark at this particular adventure level, which is 120, can kind of dominate. So I really don't need to worry about having, you know, extra attack power with Faceless. So I don't usually use Faceless very much. Also, my Faceless isn't the strongest. I used Faceless for a good while, but once Sebastian came out, it really changed the game. And here I'm going to put back in Sebastian because I see Jet, critical hit, and my Kark gets knocked out. That's not great for my team. Kark is central to my offensive strategy on this account, so I have to protect Kark pretty much at all costs. And, you know, using Sebastian doesn't allow for them to debuff my Kark, and Kark can take everyone out. Okay, so now I just have to go this way. I've done this path so many times that I know kind of where I need to go on the map, right? So I took this route across because I saw Wesley had already taken out this second particular area right here. and now I'm just kind of breezing through, which is nice. I remember when I first started doing adventure level 120, it was difficult, but not as difficult as level 120 or 110. That one is still really, really tough. Hey, Success, nice to have you with me. Always love having new people checking in on the stream. Thanks for coming for the first time. Always appreciative. And oh, an update. So, my channel has been doing very, very well. And I'm starting to get to a point where I think I'm closing in on 400,000 views. So once, I get closer to that 1 million mark, Hero Wars allows me to give you guys back rewards. So, right, that's where I think Hero Wars Central does it right now, where he has like monthly giveaways. And if he's not giving them away, well, then I don't know what he's doing with that privilege. But basically, you get some pretty cool deals not working with, but basically in partner with Hero Wars. So once I hit that 1 million mark, which I'm pretty far away from still, but we're making good progress on that, then I'll be able to give you guys back, all the help that you guys have given me in terms of building my viewership and everything like that. So thank you so much, guys, and I definitely plan on helping you guys back in the future because, obviously I'm not going to reward just my guildmates or anything like that. That's kind of crazy, and I've heard that assumption being thrown around, but for me, it doesn't make any sense that I would do that. Most of my guildmates are at a point where they don't need any help in terms of those items. But, obviously I think it's better to give back to my viewers anyway. And so like if they happen to win and they were watching, then that's cool. But I'm not going to be skewing any numbers. I know there's been concerns about that. I'm just going to throw that out right now. I do plan on giving back to the Hero Wars community, and I think it helps the newer players the most. So, ideally I'd like to grant lower players or, players who just started out on Hero Wars the gifts, but that's still a far ways away. But thank you so much for helping me so far in where I am right now and where I'm headed. I appreciate it, and I love having you guys here. Honestly, like when I first started my channel, it wasn't about views or even the legend status didn't even exist. So obviously with all your guys' help, goals have changed, and I'm trying to get to that 1 million views so then I can help you guys back out in the future. But thanks for the support. That's what I'm basically saying, and it's always nice to have you guys here because if I wasn't playing the game right now, I'd definitely be studying, and I do that most of the day anyway. It's pretty lame. So thank you guys. So you want me to check out this team: Dorian, Orion, Jew, Yasmin, and Astaroth? Yeah, I'll check that out in a sec here. Let me just finish up this particular route that I have. I think I have 3 more matches after this, so it should be quick. I'm just going to skip them. All right, so I am going to finish this up, and I'll take a look at your team, which I actually think is pretty interesting. All right, so one more after this, and then I'll be out of moves, and I pretty much did the path that I needed to do. And then I will check out your team right now after that. So we're going to go ahead and do this and take out this one as well. And I love how they just put up teams with no synergy because that's really helpful. But, I think that level 110 quest, if I remember, gave me a lot of problems. It was really hard to 4-chest, but we ended up doing it eventually. It was a tough one. That's what I remember there. Okay, so now you wanted me to check out this team. I'm going to go ahead and check out this team. So guild battles, hero challenge, auto maximum, and the team is Dorian and Orion. I think I saw Jew in there. So Dorian. I think I saw Astaroth as well. Astaroth, Yasmin, Dorian. Passed Dorian already, didn't I? Dorian. And I think Orion was the last one. Okay, so magic attack dealer, physical attack damage dealer, physical attack damage dealer, and magic attacker. So, okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to type success. Oh, maybe not. I can't tell. Okay, that looks fine. Okay, so here's your team, and a preliminary look. So one thing that has me concerned a little bit is just the fact that you have physical attackers as well as magical attackers. Not the worst setup. I mean, obviously, Jew is a great attacker. You have a great attacker in Yasmin as well. Orion's good, and next Dorian, that is also good. One of my concerns, though, is if you face a good magic attack team, and by that I mean the twins. So just this would probably be like a heads up, is if you see the twins on the opposing team, that could be a tough matchup. So one hero that I would consider having as an option, like if you're talking about Arena or Grand Arena, is Rufus. I would recommend having Rufus on your team. But okay, so the twins I think would be a tough matchup for you. But I like this team generally speaking, and in campaign, this team should do very well. So I know you're in chapter 12 and you're at level 82. Okay. So if you're at level 82 and you're in chapter 12, uh, my game doesn't like showing up during live stream for whatever reason on the campaign trail. But yeah, so chapter 12, you actually should do really well in this because I think Yasmin is able to bypass the, I forget what they're called, but they're like frozen guys. No, not. It's the icicles. You know what I'm talking about, guys, right? Where are these? Oh, these guys. These frozen visages, which is super annoying. With Yasmin, you should be able to clear these guys almost no problem. And my best advice in terms of your team and continuing with the campaign is just keep leveling them up. Your team's solid, right? In terms of campaign, you should have no problem, in my opinion, running the gauntlet and basically getting to chapter 14. Chapter 14 is where everything slows down, but if you keep leveling up your team, and you're only level 82 right now, so don't stress if you can't beat a particular campaign. Just continue leveling up. Your team is gonna do fine, and I think you'll be completely fine up until you get to chapter 14. Is usually really hard until you hit probably like level 120, 130 ish. So this campaign forward, you need to kind of be a higher level. But yeah, I'd say other than that, your team should do fine in terms of passing chapter 13, no problem. Just keep leveling it up. If you have any problems, just level up. That's my best advice, and make sure to increase the skills and artifacts on your Yasmin and Ju specifically, as well as your tank, which is Astaroth. But you should be fine. I'm not worried about that. I think the only thing that you need to worry about is like Guild Wars and Arena would be a twins team potentially, because you have some good physical attackers. Yasmin's great against Ju, or not, sorry. Yasmin is great against Kark, and Ju is a great attacker, right? Really great in campaign as well as Outland, but maybe not the best in situations where the opponent has a Martha, because Martha tends to just heal at a really, really good rate. Orion's a great offensive attacker as well. So you'll be great in most parts of the game with this team. The only part to worry about is Arena, Grand Arena, and Guild Wars. So those battles are going to be a little bit more sticky, I would say, with this team. But for campaign, you have Tower, all those things, you'll be fine. Okay. How many views do I have? I think I have around over 300,000, and I think I'm closing in on 400,000. So, what time is my live stream? So my live stream usually starts 8 p.m. Eastern, and I'm about almost an hour in, so I'll probably be ending relatively soon because I usually do about an hour. So that's kind of what I typically do. Okay. Aurora, Celeste, Dorian, Orion, and Helios. Celeste is fine, or do I change for Jorgen? Okay. This is a good team, and I actually think it's beneficial to check it out against this team here, just to illustrate what I was saying. But Aurora, twins, right? Or sorry, no, I'm wrong. Aurora, Celeste, and Dorian. Celeste is somewhere around here. Celeste, Dorian, Orion, and Helios. Ryan and Helios. So this is a classic ODH team, right? So you have Orion, Dorian, and Helios. The difference here is you have Aurora as the tank, best tank in the game right now. But with Yasmin, I do like Astaroth as well. Just a fact of the matter. Celeste is great against Astaroth. I mean, I have a Astaroth counter video, but if you face a team like this, right, whether you use Celeste or you use Jorgen, it doesn't really matter. But I do like Jorgen, and I love Jorgen. So I think if you have Jorgen, that is great as like a option to change in and out. But I don't think, um, I don't think it's a bad option to have Jorgen available. And I do love Celeste though as well. So I think the only time I wouldn't use Celeste is if the opponent has Cornelius. If the opponent has Cornelius, then I would put in Jorgen, if that makes sense. So have Jorgen as an option. And I think Web Sebastian is also very, very OP. So I would consider having Sebastian and Jorgen available. Like if you see on my setup here, so I have Kark. He's my main damage dealer, right? If I had the twins, they would be my main damage dealer, but Kark is my main damage dealer. I have around him, I have Martha as a healer, Nebula as a healer, and buff to attack, right? I've been working on Astaroth, but you can see I've been working on Sebastian and Jorgen as well. Sebastian is great anytime I see someone with a Jorgen on their team. Cancels him out completely. Not for mobile, but for Facebook and web, Sebastian cancels out Jorgen. But if Sebastian is not on the opposing team, Jorgen is a great option. But again, like I said, if you see an Astaroth on the opposing team, Celeste is good. So, it's a little bit tricky. It depends. It's kind of like playing chess. If, someone does X, you do Y. So I think it's great to have, and I'm working on Celeste also. I think she's a little bit weaker for me, but I'm working on her as well. But Sebastian and Jorgen, great to have on your team. I would recommend having them available if you need them. So then if the opponent again has Cornelius really, really hurts Celeste. I've seen her get destroyed in one hit. So I would recommend having Jorgen as a backup. But you can't go wrong. Your team's fine. It's looking good, Martin. It's looking good. Hey, what's up, man? Nice to have you with us. And your pet is Axel. Okay. Good pet. And Kane for Yasmin. Okay, that's good too because that gives you more dodge to your Yasmin. Nothing wrong there. I think you're doing a good job. So you found Aurora, Celeste, Kai, Kark, and Martha difficult. Yeah, okay. So I think here's my other question. So success on this team that you found difficult, was it a higher level than you? And the reason I ask that too is because Kark is not great against Yasmin, but Kark is really good if he's a higher level than your Yasmin. So let's take a look here. So you said Martha, Kark, Aurora, Celeste, and Kai. Here's my thing with Kai. He's a decent hero, but I think he's a little overrated in some respects. Some people love him with Kark. And yeah, he's good, but I don't like him. Personally, I wouldn't use him. So let's see. All right, let's take a look at how this matchup shakes out. So Aurora is really good. I mean, 4 of these heroes are amazing on this team. But you get 5 really good heroes here. The difference is going to be whether Kark can survive long enough. Basically, can this Kark survive Yasmin? So I'm going to speed up the matchup a little bit here. So Kark does a good deal of damage, and Yasmin is not able to take out Kark because of Aurora's dodge that's being added to Kark. Okay. So how would I counter this? I think with your team, I would consider taking out Jew and putting in. Okay, so here's the team that you said. We're gonna make it on the defensive side. So it was Martha, Celeste, Aurora, where did Kai go? Kai, where are you at? Kai and Kark. So this was the team that you're up against. And the team that you had for the most part was Dorian, Orion, Yasmin, Astaroth, where you at, buddy? So these were 4 of the heroes that you had. The other one, I believe, was Jew. I want to see what happens if, I want to try to minimize how many heroes you need to focus on to beat this team. So I love Satori, but I know he's also hard to get. So Jorgen would be relatively easy to get and is just 1 hero. So I want to see what happens if we put Jorgen in and how this disrupts the team, because Jorgen steals energy from the opposing team. Kark relies on energy to have his skill go off. I would know because I use Kark. But let's see what happens here, assuming my game decides to load. Sometimes the Wi-Fi here is really good, and sometimes it's really not. So we'll see what happens here. And of course, it did not show the results. So we'll have to see what happens. Okay. So you thought Kark is best with Faceless. I agree, what's up, man? But the problem with Faceless 2 is Faceless copies the skill of the hero that attacked earlier. So if you use Kark skill and then use Faceless right after, that's deadly and a lethal combination. If you only, if you have it on auto, it's a little less predictable, which can make it difficult too, because if you have Nebula on your team, for example, and you Faceless copies Nebula, it's not as beneficial to your team as if you had Kark basically attacking twice with the skills going off. So that's one difference, right? I love having Faceless. I think Faceless is better than Kai, personally. Different people have different opinions on it, but that's my opinion. But yes, I think Faceless is very good, no doubt about it. So here I'm switching it up, right? So here's the matchup. Let's see how Jorgen helps or hurts this team. And yeah, it looks like the problem is Yasmin got taken out just now by Kark. So what we need is a counter to Kark, which I should be able to find no problem. I think Envari is really good. But again, Envari is tough to get. So it makes me almost want to put in Qing Mao in place of Ju and seeing how that plays out. Because Qing Mao is very good against Kark as well. So Jorgen wasn't enough. I mean, it definitely slowed down Kark's progress, but it didn't do what we wanted it to do. So I'm going to try putting in Qing Mao. Let's go ahead and... I also don't love Orion for this particular matchup, but I don't want to change up your team too much. That's another thing. You've already invested in your team. It's not a good idea to change up your team a whole lot. And Dorian is really good, but I also don't know how much healing it will be able to provide Yasmin. We'll see what happens here, though. So I'm trying to come up with a, an easy, low stress fix to your team here. And it looks like Kark just is not ideal for your team setup, if I'm being honest. But, yeah, I mean, we can try Envari. I think the tough thing here is just that Orion is not... You kind of need more support / more healing for Yasmin. Or even, I would say, like Sebastian. But I don't want to change your team. So I'm trying to find a solution that's just a single hero fix. And I think Ju is probably... Well, if this doesn't work with Orion, I'm going to try with Ju and see what happens. So Orion, and then we have Dorian. And I apologize. I mean, I would have thought that this team would have won at least once, but I also realized that with the new skin that Kark has, he's a little bit more difficult to take down. So there goes Aurora, which is helpful. And that helped take down Kark. So it looks like the answer to your question here is going to be Anvari. And putting in Anvari for your Jew if against this team. All right, so hopefully Anvari is obtainable for you, success. I don't know how obtainable he is, but that is one solution to beat this team. Just going to throw that out there. And then Martin Kai is not that good because it depends on the level to lift the enemies. And you get on the first day of play, and they give you a ton of friendship tokens. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm not a big Kai fan. I know my buddy Central, Hero War Central, loves Kai. I don't. Preference. Preference. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Hopefully that basically covered the question there. I'm going to try to open a couple more of these summoning spheres that I have. See if I can get a few more potions. I'll hold on to 18. I need at least 10 for tomorrow. Oh, look at that. We got a Super Titan. So when you have all your Super Titans maxed or absolute, right? Not maxed, absolute. If you pull one in the future, you get 2,500 Titan Soul Coins. So that's what happened here. Okay, try the team versus the ODH. So ODH, are you talking about, when you say try the team, are you talking about the same team that we saw here, this cart team? Okay, we'll try it out. So you want us to try battling an ODH team. So Dorian, Helios, Orion. Typically, I see Astaroth with this kind of a team. And then, okay. So we will use Celeste first. And you want to use the same team. So I'm assuming you want to use the Anvari in place of Jew. And obviously, you can tell me if I'm wrong. So if you meant something else, let me know. I will fix it. So Dorian, Orion, Yasmin, and I believe is Astaroth. And yo, I will try your team in a sec. So first I'm going to try this one time, and then I will try out your suggestion here. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. Anvari should help with dealing with Orion, but Helios will be a problem for your Yasmin. So this is also why I think it's good. Did you say your original team? So if we keep in Jew, right? And so this is where you would want to basically set up Anvari on your side, basically, like maybe he's not in your main team, but depending on who you face, maybe you have him available. So I think you said before that Jew, helps beat this team. Um, Maybe it's best if you keep working with Jew if that's the case, and build up Anvari on the side. Just a suggestion. I'm not sure. I mean, we'll see what happens. I know Helios is very dangerous against Yasmin because Yasmin has critical hits, and Helios is specially designed to take out heroes that have critical hit, which is also Juice should have critical hit as well. So that's interesting. Yeah, so this team's gonna struggle here as well. Um, Problem's going to be Helios with Yasmin. So this would be a situation where you need to take almost need to take Yasmin out. Which this makes things tricky because you can't counter against every single team just by putting in one hero. Which almost makes me want to use Satori, which Satori's really good against Kark as well. And I'll get into that in a second here. But Yo wanted me to try out Aurora, Celeste, Nebula, Orion, and Dorian, and I'm assuming that was on the last challenge, so I'll go ahead and do it. So Aurora, Celeste, was it Nebula? Nebula, Orion, and Dorian. Who did I miss? Aurora, Celeste, Nebula. Why did I miss Nebula? I thought I clicked on her. All right. So this is the team you wanted me to check out. I'll check it out real quick. I think it might do okay. But we'll see. Nebula gives more healing, which is good, especially for Celeste. And you're right, Yo. That's a great suggestion. So we're going to test this team out also against your ODH combo team, right? So Aurora. Aurora, was it Dorian? Orion. Nebula. Orion. And Celeste. Rufus would be the only effective hero to defend. Yeah, I think that's a good point too. I mean, Aurora is the best tank and really good against magic attack teams. So, dang, that team really sliced through them. Aurora's really good against magic attack teams. And the reason for that is her skill basically absorbs all the magic damage done and deflects it back to the opposing team. I believe that's her first skill, which is also why Aurora is the best tank. People can say whatever they want to say about Aurora. She is the best tank in the game. Astaroth is a close second, but there are more counters now to Astaroth than there were before. But Aurora is really, really good, especially against magic attack teams. Rufus is also very good, as pointed out. So, Yo, this is a great option. And I don't know exactly how, success. I don't know if this is a team that's viable for you, but this team, Aurora, Orion, Celeste, Dorian, and Nebula, is very good against this ODH team as well as that Kark team that you mentioned. So just throwing that out there. Yo had a great suggestion. Great team, Yo. Yeah, Martin, that's a great point. Hi, Abdul. Nice to have you with me. All right, so if you find Rufus in the arena, you generally lose. You know what? That's a fair point, and I think it's tough too because when you have the ODH combo, that's 3 heroes that are all magic based already. So with Rufus, you really almost have to use like a pet like Kane maybe, or if you have Morgan available, Morgan can take out Rufus pretty easily, right, with her skills with the minion skeletons. What else is a good option? I'm trying to think. So Rufus has some. I can make a counter video on Rufus, but if you have Rufus, physical attack, you got to use a physical attacker to take out Rufus. That just is how it is. Otherwise, he'll keep coming back and being super annoying. I can make a counter on that very, very soon. If you want to see a video on that, I can make it. I think as soon as tomorrow, if I'm not super busy. But yeah, Martin, expect a video on Rufus very, very soon, like within the next week. And if I haven't made it by the next stream, you let me know, and I will make that video very, very, very soon. So I can do something on Rufus. Physical attackers is the way to go with Rufus. And if you have ODH, honestly, I would almost put Yasmin on your team if you can with ODH, and whatever Astaroth or Aurora, just to take out Rufus. I think it's Ching Mao physical attack. If Ching Mao's physical attack, that could help as well. Basically, you ideally want a physical attacker. If not, then Morgan can also do it. She's a she is a magic attacker herself, but she doesn't deal any damage. Her minions basically deal all the damage, and her minions are physical attackers. So that's how that works as well. So hopefully that helps you guys out. And let's see if I have too many things to do still task-wise here. We're going to go ahead and do some of these real quick. But if you guys have any other questions, feel free to let me know. I will probably be logging off relatively soon-ish. Just giving you a heads up. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know, and I will try to answer them. And if I miss them here, I will get to them very shortly. But yeah, thank you guys so much for chilling with me and hanging out on this, for me, Saturday night. I don't know where it is for you guys. Again, I'm on the East Coast right now, so we're living life and we're chilling, and I'm just taking a nice study break. Just avoiding all the craziness that's going on right now in the world and having some fun playing Hero Wars and hanging out with you guys. So thank you so much again, guys, for chilling with me. And can Yasmin defeat Seymour? I would say yes and no. So that's a tricky question. Here's why. So yes, Yasmin is good against Seymour. The problem again is Seymour deals mad damage. So if Yasmin gets hit, Yasmin will probably get taken out. If she dodges, very good chance of survivability. But I still think the best option is Ju. I know a lot of people say, oh, you don't need Ju or you can use someone else. But that almost means that you have to have a really good team. Like in terms of like your team needs to be almost all red or close to that in terms of artifacts and everything like that. And I think that's a lot of reasons why, you'll see teams that beat Seymour, but they never show you the artifacts or anything behind it, right, power-wise. And the reason they won't show you is because obviously you need to invest a lot in those heroes, even though, they may be like, orange 3 or something like that. But I do think that you really need Ju on your team, and I think Yasmin can be helpful, but I don't think Yasmin on her own will be enough, sadly. Unless you have an all-red team, then maybe it's a little different. But that's my take on that. Let's talk about the Black Friday Hero Wars discount next time. All right, sounds good to me. I look forward to seeing you guys very, very soon. And stay safe out there.